Meshing, enforcement, performance. What's going on behind the scenes in the ARK Wildcard Studios? Evo Event, community submissions, and what's going on with Genesis Part 2 and the PS5 Enhancement upgrade. You're right kids, it's Clark and welcome back to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So the community crunch dropped last night and the devs were kind enough to update us on what's going on behind the scenes and what they've done to improve the game. So to kick it off, meshing. It's a big problem in ARK, or at least it was. Cast your minds back to a few years ago and meshing was rife. There were so many ways to get under the map and demoralise the game to a lesser form of itself. Well, since the team introduced a death mesh barrier early last year, they've been constantly developing it. Noticing recently the meshing incidents are up on PlayStation recently. Lucky for them and you, most people post these mesh methods online on YouTube, so the team can quickly understand what the issues actually are. With three key areas at the moment they're looking into. 1. Ziplines. Ziplines seem to be a real issue for meshing. Why? I don't know, but they are. There's been so many mesh methods with them, and developers are now looking at a way to counter that, so you can't use them to get through small rat holes or tiny mesh holes. Detecting projectiles. So it's not uncommon that anyone who meshes is firing rockets at your base from range, because if they get too close they'll die to the mesh barrier, meaning anyone meshing can only fire from distance. But what wildcards are now implementing is a way that any projectiles fired within the mesh get destroyed instantly. And whilst it's not consistent everywhere just yet, it looks to be something they are determined to patch across all maps. The world edge borders that everyone seems to find a new exploit to get through and live outside of will be no more soon. Anything built outside the world border will be destroyed. Boom. And apparently this is already live on the island, on PC, and with a little bit of tweaking we can see this coming to all platforms very soon. Although we kind of knew the team were working on this, it's great to see them sharing their focuses on what they're going to do to improve and eradicate meshing. And I do hope they keep us more up to date in future. Transfer issues. Yeah, this week just gone there was a lot of transfer issues. Apparently a lot of people were losing items and characters transferring, with the team working hard to implement a fix as quick as they could. It seems to have been occurred with some network issues back end, and although it's now fixed, I know a lot of people were asking for rollbacks, but the team's reply was, in rolling back, they're going to do more damage to the community that didn't lose stuff to the community that did. So it's a real shame to see anything back end has caused a lot of loss for players, but it doesn't appear there's anything they can do. Warnings were put out there as soon as they knew about it, but sadly some damage has been done, and I hope the team are going to implement something at least to compensate for that loss. Maybe a nice quick event. I know we've just had one with the Valentine's event that didn't get extended, but I hope they've got something in the pipeline to at least apologise to those players that were affected. Enforcement, cheating players. I know there's a lot of cheats out there. Everyone loves to cheat. Why? I don't know, because eventually you're going to get found, you're going to get banned. And I'm aware the team get reports about cheaters every single day. The problem is they don't share that information, so you get many players that are pushing out the same ticket again and again and again and again and again, overloading the team with tickets about the same instance. And whilst yes, I can agree that the overexposure heightens the urgency of those issues needing to be resolved, but all it's doing is slowing the teams down in their return to fix. So I think them presenting some transparency on what's going on, what they're enforcing, what they're working on, to give some clarity to the players to know cheaters aren't prospering. I can see there's a lot of frustration out there over cheaters from many big YouTubers consistently struggling with the cheaters in PvP. And if we can all get on the same page, it's going to be a lot easier for everyone included. So Wildcard shared a number of performance and stability issues they've been working on throughout 2020 and are continuing to work on now. What is noticeable, transferring has been a lot quicker than it used to. Way back, it would take an age to transfer from one server to the other, and it seems to them moving it to an in-network solution has improved that speed on moving from map to map. And it seems to have some cost-effective solutions back end for the team as well. And they are continuing to improve it, which is good news. DDoSing, the dirty tactic in ARK that we all hate. It needs to go, and I know it's not as simple as that. It's been around for years, and it's just ridiculous how many people can DDoS a server and reduce it to rubble in some poor advantageous game. Thankfully, the team have been improving the hardware and software solutions to make it much more difficult. And it is certainly less noticeable than it was a few years ago. But it's still around, and I hope Wildcard are going to do their very best to eradicate this nasty tactic in the game forever. Rendering and blowing up structures were improved last year as well. This is something they implemented towards the end of last year, where the calculations on structures would create so much lag that the team have now implemented something to reduce those calculations. So of course, less lag. And for demolishing structures as well. If you've ever blown up a turret tower, you will know the lag it creates. And whilst, yeah, there's still a bit out there, it's not half as bad as it used to be. And the team are going to continue working on this through 2021. And where can you feed back to the team? Well, there's a Discord. They've been running for some time. They've already got over 75,000 members in there, all sharing their information and knowledge and stories. And it's certainly a great place to interact with other players, with the developers dropping in now and then. It's got a wealth of excellent moderators and admins, all taking notes on what people are talking about. So if you've got a great suggestion for the game, get involved, start talking about it, and you might see it implemented in the future. And I'll leave a link in the description. Evo Event is here. We've got 2 times XP. Woohoo! Until Thursday the 25th of Feb. Considering we just come off the back of Love Evolved, it's great to see the team pursuing another XP bonus for you guys out there. It's a shame they didn't extend the Love Evolved event, but at least you can grind those levels in quicker succession right now. Community submissions. It's great to see Wildcards are acknowledging more and more content creators, whether it's artwork, photos or videos, and it's nice to see them highlight a range of creators, from the elite Syntac, doing his thing with his bluish green braided hair, to a bit of survival of the fittest league competition, which I want to have a go at myself, but I don't seem to find a game available at any one time. So if you know the best time to play this, drop a comment below, let me know, because I really do want to live stream a little session playing this. It's also great to see them nod to my bearded brother Aaron Longstaff, putting out another spectacular build video, this time a Japanese temple. Go check it out, link in the description. And there was a bunch of artwork submitted again, with my favourite being this one by Lock Terranova, looking like some pretty cool movie poster. So Genesis Part 2 and PS5 upgrade, what's happening? Well, Dolly, the product manager, did announce that something was coming in the next week or so. We was all hoping it was going to be this weekend. It wasn't, sadly. It hasn't happened. No news has been shared. Therefore, we are left to allude there has to be some news next weekend. There has to be. I'm really hoping. Next weekend will be the last weekend before March, the month of release. So Wildcard, come on, you've got to give us something before March comes along. We're all dying for a release date now, and I'm gonna hold on to the faith for a March release date just a week longer. I hope it comes out in March, but like a lot of you, I am sort of expecting a delay. I just hope it's not for too long. And PS5 Enhancement, where is it? I get messages off you kids almost every day about this, which is great. And I'd love to say that the developers have informed us on what's going on there, but they haven't. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Which is a real shame, as they do a community crunch where they share everything that's going on behind the scenes, but then can't update us about things they were talking about months ago. Not to discredit them, I think this community crunch is a real great addition for an insight on what the team are working on. It'd just be nice for a quick update to say this is where we are with this, or we're not with it. Just a few little words to keep us in the loop, so we're not all sitting like coiled springs awaiting something. And that about wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed this. What do you think about the team's involvement in sharing everything they're doing behind the scenes? Is it something you want to see more of? Drop a comment below, let me know. My name's Ross Clark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always, peace out.